Hello, race fans, and welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway. Known for hot lights, the Sunshine State's definitely producing a lot. But last week at Armory Digital, we saw movement take home the win. Joining me in the booth today will be Bradley Ream shortly as he's on another prior engagement. And as always, our cameraman, Zach, who will be doing the pre race headlines. Zach, what a great weekend last week just to kind of talk to you about Armory Digital. We saw some great racing, great speeds. We're now in race two under these palm trees into the dusk. Should be an interesting one. You got some pre race headlines, buddy?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. So the like the way you move, can movement continue to move and groove after the upset W for Toyota at Armory Digital? We will find out. And second on that, we got tire management. With the surface being abrasive, tires are going to be very pivotal. Early runs could be comers and goers, so that's going to be very interesting to watch. Number three on the points is inside versus outside. We're going to see a lot of differentiations there. The inside is known to be dominant, but coming off turn four. The outside line could be pivotal to defending positions as the runs spread out. And then the race will go from day into night. The night racing being heavy early in the season, while teams adjust to cooler conditions. Number five, the Florida Favor. Three races, all unique tracks. Florida hometown hero Anthony McClure from Palm Beach, Florida, be on the spotlight train for three huge races in the Sunshine State. Can he bring that 54 Chevy to victory lane tonight? All that more, and back to you, Freeze, for the call.
Yes, sir. Well, tonight on pole, as we see on the screen, Quentin Buchanan. And last week's surprise, I would say, fastest guy award would go to Frank Chilton, as our cameraman is asking to turn to him in a second. Definitely look out for Frank Chilton tonight. As we talked about, the long green flag runs are going to be pivotal here. The start will be interesting. We saw in practice and happy hour for the most part that we had multi-groove racing. There was no such thing as the outside with pure domination. And as the tires start to wear, expect the middle line to go. And you see a little scrape mark back there on your viewing audience as we will get the command in three, two, one, hit it. And there's the command of fire engines. Clinton Buchanan, like I said, on pole. Anthony McClure, as always, is our hometown here. And we got a problem. We have Clinton Buchanan just can't get off the line. Oh, what a heartbreaker for Clinton.
Oh yeah, I had probably a gear shift issue.
It's going to move Clinton Buchanan to a last place finish unless he can get back on the track. And our new pole sitter, I believe, will come up to this shot here as we get to. What is going to be? Looks like they used the 12, I believe.
Yeah, 12 Justin Ricci.
Yep, Justin Reese will take the point here. So Justin Reese now in unfamiliar territory will lead us to green. Frank Shell on the outside. It's Homestead in Miami. It's 1.5 mile racing. Many drivers and fans call this the perfect mile and a half. Well, we'll find out tonight who has the perfect start and perfect Miami heat as we're green flag racing at Homestead. Already into turn one, you see they're starting to fan out a little bit as Reese and Freeze below look on the inside line. Frank Sheldon had a little bit of a slow start as Andrews backs off into the corners as they battle for second behind. And now the pack is starting to spread out as they go three wide. Talked about points. We're going to talk about points now. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but right now it's about the aggression as the tires are fresh. It's three wide. But this Vince Freeze on the low line looking for the lead as they start to gain a little bit of momentum at the top. And we talked about the high run with the momentum. Frank Schillen is going to be the first to explore that. As you see Vince Freeze back off a little bit, this is where front turn is going to start to matter as the tires begin to age slowly. Now that outside line is beginning to form. We have Messi up there and Andrews as a six-car breakaway to start off begins. Last week's winner, Movement, also started in mid-pack. We'll find out what he can do tonight as well. As you continue to see three-wide racing as our cameraman Zach flip over to Movement in a Hornet's Nest. We got one ride in the wall. That's Joy Paints, I believe, in the 13. As we are expecting a couple in the beginning to start riding the wall. Let's see Joy Paints there. Yeah, just the little scrape and scrub, as I like to call it. Nothing too crazy as we got. Looks like that is Quentin Buchanan on the access road coming out. Got that shift issue fixed and resolved. As I believe that is Bobby Isaac way off the pace for sure. Yep, he's way off the pace as Quentin will emerge up. Back in the front, though, it's Andrews in the lead with Chilton in second, Reese third, Messi in fourth. As a battle for the lead is now commencing. Reese is saying, hey, I'm not done yet. We could try that outside lane and get a nice run. 3 wide though, looking from Chill, and again, he's been one of the best so far out west. Can he bring that heat back east as he stays on that low line? Now Reese leading in that Coke scheme. Another thing we got to think about here too is happy hour did not really tell us a lot. We saw first practice tell us a lot, but happy hour did not tell us a lot, believe it or not, because a lot of teams were saving stuff, as we almost had 4 wide back there with Ream and Freeze as they continue to battle. So we'll see how tire management and front turn will play a figure to role, as looks like Andrews is looking for second. Going back here to the Hornets Nest, we have 4 wide. We have Roach. Now, speaking of Roach, real quick, he made no pit stops. He's yet to even contest a pit stop this year. And last week's crazy race at Armory Digital. We'll have to come in tonight with the strategy being around, let's say, 15 to 20. I think the tires are going to start falling off. We'll know in the fuel window about 25 laps, I would say. It could be a 2-stop race, but I think it could be a 1-stop race as well. We'll find out. I think teams that take the 1-stop should think about the overcut. If you're way in the back to lose, or if you're really up front, the undercut should work, or we should see most guys, let's say 2nd through 25th, coming in as a pack. And that will be interesting as they spread out. Definitely, though, the opening 6 laps of this race has been contesting hot and heavy. We don't have a lot of separation like I thought. It's been very draft heavy, which we did not see in practice. That should be an interesting tell.
Yeah, I've noticed we have had a lot of pushing to get cars around each other, so that's going to be an interesting thing to watch as well as we're 4 wide in turn 1.
Yeah, movement just hit the wall, scraped it a little bit there.
Car in the wall.
Oh, it's a little wreck there. That's going to be a caution, we think.
Oh, 29.66.
It's Roach.
18.88. Caution's out. Started off with Jeff Jordan.
Jeff Jordan will have to get a replay of that, and I believe Isaac should be coming in. But we'll take that replay right now of Jeff Jordan here.
Go
and
full
Shangle.
speed.
Yeah, it looks like just a little hook gone wrong. Saw that last week at Armory Digital. They save it right here. But
Pat
Shangle.
came up the track.
Yep. And there's just
Right,
nowhere to go.
Yep. And Roach, Dripsy Shive got involved. 34 came out all right.
All right, Clint Buchanan will take it over there. As Bradley Ream has joined us in the booth. Bradley Ream, welcome to the booth, sir.
Thank y'all. A little bit late, but had to see my Eagles get a win again, 13-1 now. Lord, that game was a mess, but happy to be up here in the booth. As I can already see, we have a crash already.
Yeah, a little crash here as we saw Jeff Jordan, and Shangle tagging. You see the 29 right there. He's going to the apron. That's going to be Noah Padnock. Just slides up in that grass where it's slick and right into Roach. And Roach has nowhere to go. Backs it in. Joey paints a little contact. It's just a mess right here. Padnock gets hit by Fogelman, Ard. Tough break for those guys. They both had good runs at Armory. Can't continue here at Homestead. Well, now this is where everything's going to start to matter, Reem. Even though you didn't do the pre-race headlines, we did have one of our headlines as pit stops could be a pivotal factor with tire wear. So I expect 4 tires and fuel. But let's see if some people stay and we have a split, just like Armory Digital last week. Let's see what Reese does here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. We've only got 54 laps today, but we're already 9 laps in. But I don't know if they'll need to come down. It'll just depend on what the crew chiefs to have in mind. Maybe if they're going to play it safe. As you can see, some of the damaged cars already down pit road, the 38, the 42, 64, and the 66. But it'll be interesting to see what our leader, Justin Ricci, and the number 12 Coca-Cola car is going to do as he comes when they come down pit road.
Yeah, they're going to make their way around 3 and 4, and we'll find out what the crew chiefs have in store. But for these guys who just got involved in the wreck, some of them will be getting out. But now we have the issue of with double file restarts and laps downs, as we have some retirements. So it's going to be Fogelman, Padnod, and Ard out of the race. And the 34, I think, is going to be 2 laps down. But he also could be, it's Clint Buchanan. Yeah, it's Clint, right. He might be able to cycle his way to the inside here. As no one's coming in, so this is going to be a straight up restart. No tire, no fuel. We'll have our first restart old tires. Last week, if you watched the race, We did have a lot of issues with the leader not making it to the flag first, and the second place car, in this case it'd be Strauss, taking the lead. If this were to happen again, we could see some chaos going in turn 1, 2. But we'll see how the restarts are at Homestead. This is a little bit more narrower compared to Armory Digital. Reem, real quick here, since you did miss opening laps, we saw a lot of spread out racing. What do you say would be the byproduct right now from a driver's point of view, right? You're in this race, you know that the tires are old, the middle line seems to be a solid place, and the inside seems to be falling off, which is normal, but the outside and middle on a restart could be interesting. What do you expect to the viewers for these first couple laps to give an insight from the driver's point of view?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more 3, 4 wide racing, especially off the turns. It'll be interesting to see who has the runs, who has the faster cars and whatnot. But I do want to point out something that I've seen in many times at Homestead Race here at Homestead Miami is that the cars sometimes coming off a turn 4 pinch up together if they get a good portion of cars going 4, maybe 5 wide, that they pinch up together and they create a one of the cars on the bottom 2 lanes, they end up spinning around on the front stretch. I don't know if we'll see that here today. It'll all depend on how aggressive these guys get. But we saw it in the turn number 1 and 2 earlier. I also want to say I feel like that depending on where the drivers go with the draft and other drivers, it'll be interesting to see how that helps them in the long run and the short run. So I think we'll see a bunch of 3 and 4 wide racing through the first part of this early restart, and then as slowly the laps go away, we'll see the cars spread out a little bit, or maybe we might have more cautions. You never know. Like how last week we had a lot of cautions at the start, didn't have much in the end, and it was a whole complete mess. But pace cars lights, I believe, are off, which means I think we'll be restarting on this lap. I think.
Yep, we are. We're going to go double file here. A little quick top 5 rundown. We got Reese, Strauss, Burridge, Messi, and Andrews to start it off here, as they'll start to, once they get the 3, go to double file. So far in that opening run, we've had a couple of comers and goers. Reese has had the strongest car. We never knew what Clinton Buchanan had our pulsar due to a shift issue, and you missed a 1 wreck. One thing to note here, movement, I think, has our biggest mover already up to 7th, looking to go to do the double here in Homestead, Miami. Pace car lights are off here for this lap 11, coming to lap 12 restart, as the pace car is going to make that hard left turn into the pit lanes in 3, 2, 1. Reese is going to lead us back. It sounds like Reese's peanut butter cup, so let's see if he has a nice, smooth, crunchy peanut butter tonight. As we go back to the Geico restart zone, we are green at Homestead again.
Looks like that bottom lane got more of a jump on that restart, but you can see they're still double file. They'll slowly ease up to 3, 4 wide here shortly once they get the speed going. As you can see, the 3 Chevys on the bottom, the 07 and the 57, giving a huge push to that 12. But the 3 car, the Dodge, and the 3 of Jessica Strauss is pushing strong on that outside lane, middle lane up outside, same thing. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. As you can see, they're already fanning out 3, I think maybe 4 wide a bit back there in the back.
Strauss with a top run, definitely getting the lead here, making a power move early. One thing to note here, we have a lot of people that weren't up here last week that are up here this week. That could be interesting how you race around each other. As Strauss, we saw in happy hour, jumped late in the board, top 10. Definitely starting to show some muscle for her. Alexander Isle, we talked about him last week on a restart, can never get going. He was stuck in that pack. Well, it turns out he had damage last week, as he's looking to make his way to the front. There's a big run just coming from Burge. Reem, take it over from here, buddy, on 3 and 4.
Yeah, you can see guys in the middle here. We got John Andrews, Movement, Isle, Joy Paints here as well, and the 54, the 89 of Brad Stover. All of them are. Yeah, some of them have good runs, some of them didn't. Some of them got caught up in wrecks last week, but you can see how they're 3 wide. That bottom, Andrews and Stover slowly falling back because of that bottom lane. Yeah, we're running the middle pack here, but it's going to be interesting. Like I said, you never know with the day-to-night transformation, as we got almost 4 wide. The 45 almost going up to the wall there. We almost got 4 wide on the front straightaway. Oh, that is close between Movement and the 13 of Joy Paints, but luckily they settle it down as there wasn't a big wreck there, thankfully. because that would have been really bad for the guys in the back there that are trying to make their way up towards the front.
Yeah, Strauss has been caught too for the lead. We'll get a battle at the lead for seconds. We almost had a wreck back there. Let's go back, pan back to that for a second too. I don't know who that was. We'll get a. Yep, it was Stover. Looks like it was Paulus. As we get a little bit of a replay right here. You know, just a little shallow entry. We talked about the inside line being very shallow entry. That's Freeze up top. Yeah, Stover's going to get a little aggressive here on this quarter panel, trying to get a little clearer of the nose, and boom, right down to the apron to shoot down, but no harm, no foul. As we go back to live broadcast, thanks to our cameraman Zach for getting great shots as they go 3-4 wide. Santa Messi, we talked about him a little bit last week. Well, points are early, but it's always good to talk about points as he begins his strike up to the front. As I believe Strauss will have to watch out for Ream, and movement with the crazy move way out there on the outside. Still looking his moves are good. As Strauss still leads, Messi goes on the inside, just doesn't have enough momentum. Yet there's movement. We talked about our last week's winner. He's been the man so far this season. Looks like he's going to continue that golden run here at Homestead, Miami. And real quick on our hometown here, before I give it back to Ream for a second, Anthony McCord's find out. Oh, we got a wreck! And that's might have been Vince Freeze and someone else.
Paulus Jr. again.
Looks like Freeze is going to save that. What a save.
Therefore wide.
What a save. That was 5 wide.
Oh, this is not going to end well.
What a save. We're going to have to get a replay of that. That was something. That's our cameraman here. He's going to take us back. Here we go. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Vince Freeze as we still figure out the camera right there. On the inside line right here. Just mind his P's and Q's. He's just minding his P's and Q's. Paulus is coming in. Might have been behind. Yeah, Beal might have gotten the freeze, and Paulus, what a save! Oh, that was deja vu. Took him drift a little bit right there, but good action there to save it. As we'll have to get back to live coverage as Movement has now taken the lead over Strauss. Let me tell you about this guy, Movement, man. He cannot be stopped right now as he's still looking for the lead, but it's not over yet. That's our it's the Bolvik, who blew up last week, looks to take the lead. So far, it's been a crazy race up front. We've had a lot of drag in this race, which means no one can really get away. And we're starting to see the lead shuffle. Ream, take it over a little bit, buddy, right here with LJ Toledo looking for second.
Toledo and that green, black and green Monster Energy Ford up here on the outside lane with the 9 of Alexander Isle. Ream is pushing the 20 Movement in the middle lane with help from the 07, but it's crazy to see some of these guys who've had issues last week, like the 45 who blew up last week on lap 1 and corner number 1 from the 3rd spot, and then Movement down on the bottom who won the race, and then we almost had a little bit of contact back there. I think that was the 55 and the 37 again.
We got a caution. That's it.
They're bunched up. I mean, they are bunched up back here in this pack.
That. Might have saved it, but we just got a premature yellow. Let's see. Oh, we got a wreck
back farther than that. I think that was a 34, I think.
Messi somehow saved that.
It was somewhere back here, I think, with these. Yep, 47 around. Oh. I think we went 4 wide.
Let's take a rear chaser, helicopter shot. Here's Zevel. Yep, Zevel and Stover. Looks like Zevel and Stover made a little contact. Yep, and that's just Quinn Buchanan, who is a lapper, gets turned head on into the wall, and that's a hard lick for Quinn.
Paulus is in it too.
Looks like Palmquist gets through. Everyone gets through. How about that 64 of Shangle? What an avoidance there. That could be up for another move of the race. We'll have to get a replay of that. What an avoidance by Shangle there. Well, let's take an onboard Jacob Shangle and get the eyes of Jacob Shangle. Back to back here in 36. Similar to Movement last week. Let's watch it.
You'll see the wreck happening in front of him. He just tries to go as low as he can. And as you can see, that tie number 34 Ford. Oh, Lord. Man. That was really close.
We all know what happened last week after Movement did that. He went on to win the race. Can Shangle somehow make a replay? Oh, he does that. Oh, we got a pit
No
road.
movements
That's
in it.
movement. That's movement in the Wolf. Wow. As we do have some strategy coming on board, we'll have to see if movement or the Wolf fix the damage. As our race off pit
Looks
road.
like Toledo's gonna beat him off. I think.
Yes, LJ Toledo. Yeah, he disappeared there from the screen. LJ Toledo first off. Then it's going to be Debovic and Ream second and third. Io and then a damaged movement in fifth. Well, that's going to be interesting. We'll have to see if movement does get affected by that as everyone takes 4 tires and fuel. It looks like it's to be to the right side. We'll have to find out if. Yeah, that's heavy. With these ICR mods built like a bulk. This should be interesting. Maybe something internally could be damaged and that will make them slow, or it'll be nothing at all. We have seen guys ride the wall and still be fast. Man, interesting first 23 laps of this race, Ream. Interestingly enough, that caution almost kind of fell as a halftime break. What have you seen so far as Clint Buchanan takes his ride to the pits as a lap down car?
Well, we've seen a bunch of stuff. I mean, like I said earlier, we've seen that was our turn 4 wreck. I don't think we went as 4 wide or 5 wide. We kind of had cars stack up a little bit there, but originally we thought the caution was for that 55, doing a little bit of half spins back and forth. But we've seen a bunch of great racing here from Homestead. I mean, the sun's almost down, but I mean, we've seen a bunch of great racing. Like I said, I mean, we've had 3 and 4 wide racing, middle line, middle and top lines have been really strong. The lower line has been atrocious, not really getting any help from other cars here in the race. But I think it's going to be interesting to see these last, I believe, I think we have
31 to go.
31, yeah, 31 laps to see who's going to take the win. A few Dodge cars, a few Ford cars, and a bunch of Chevys have been strong already today. But it'll be interesting to see who wins. I still don't know who's going to win yet, but I kind of got I'm setting my eyes on a few drivers. I think Movement, he's going to fall back a little bit, but I don't know if he'll be in it for the win. Maybe strategy will happen again, and he'll possibly come up to the front again and maybe miss another wreck like last week.
Yeah, movement definitely. We'll have to watch him on the restart here. But a couple people we know that are new into this field. Let's look at LJ Toledo. I mean, he was pretty average last week. I wouldn't say he was over the top. He can definitely be some. You see, actually, the 74 Marcus Macaron. He could be someone special out there. We talked about the 45 to Bovic. He pulled up lap. We couldn't even make the first turn. That's someone to watch. Isle. He's another one to watch. Reese. As our cameraman is flipping through some of the contenders here. He's one to watch as well. In the beginning of the race, he really knew how to block the lines. But we talked about air resistance a lot here on this channel. At least I do. It's hard to get away, and I think that's a problem, right? When it's hard to get away, it's going to become a little bit like a super speedway race. Those last 5 laps, with the drag being high, this package of the way the sun's setting too, making things cooler. I think you want to be in second or third with the outside run coming to the last 5 laps with a pack of about 6 cars. We'll find that out. Point standings, let's talk a little bit about that. Ream, we had interesting point standings. It's pretty much the first race, but some of the contenders have been taken out, like Roach, Monaco, Ard, Chillins Nowhere, Jordan, Paints. Really, the only 2 people that have been up there is Movement and Messi. And with Movement's damage, this could open the door for someone like a Zevel, or not, excuse me, someone like a Bradley Ream, Isle up there that can make a big run in points. We'll find that as well. But as they go into 3 and 4, we're going to start to see them go double file. LJ Toledo, first time all season, has the lead. What can he do? As we go through the banner of the Zachariah Armstrong banner 3 and 4, we'll find out what Movement's got in this restart. It's Homestead, Miami, baby. The lights are coming down. 30 laps to go, coming to 29. You know how it is out here in Miami. Pace car is going to make that left turn right now as they go down. LJ Toledo and the Monster Energy Ford Mustang. What can he do? As they go back to the Geico restart zone, we are back green as a rocket start for DeBowick. Holy moly, what a start.
Yeah, that outside line got a huge run off the start, and you can see how there's already, the 20's already in the middle, and cars are moving to the inside maybe to try to pass, but looks like so far he's catching up to the speed, but they're not already at the top speed yet. It'll be interesting to see what he does and if he falls back or keeps his speed, but getting a little bit dicey in the middle. Oh, Strauss almost got on the wall there, but they're running 3 wide back like they usually were after these restarts. As the 45 will lead them to the stripe as we continue it over to freeze.
Yeah, Macaron looking for third as you see Strauss there in the middle of the pack underneath, or excuse me, on top of Reese and Andrews. Yeah, you look at the middle of the pack though. We're starting to see some comers and go. We talked about that last week. We see it here as it looks like we're on Macaron. We just talked about him. What can he do? He's new. As Isle and him are going to make the move, but he's going to go a little higher with that. I like to say Larson line and ride it as we got. Oh, we got movement. That's movement. Oh boy, that's big. We'll have to find out what happened. I think that might be the internal damage kicking in. Now, we didn't talk about fuel mileage here, but that could be big for fuel mileage. If we do have to pit again, he might be the only car to make it. Could this be a strategy move by movement, even though we know it's damage, and it'll work out for him? As we got a battle for the lead and 4 wide back there simultaneously. Macaron Debovic for the lead. LJ Toledo looking on the outside too. He's going to get that outside run. Yes, sir. He takes that run and says, hey, I'm the monster tonight, as he goes into 3 and 4.
Our Salamander's also up here. He was our pole winner last week. I believe that's 86 of Styles as well. A few guys who were caught up in wrecks last week are up here at the front. A few guys who actually had good runs last week. You see the 57, 37, they got caught up in wrecks. 46, I believe, also got caught up in a wreck. But it's just, that's how racing goes sometimes. As you can see, there's starting to, because of the 20s pit stop, there's starting to appear to be 2 packs forming a little bit, just a gap between both of these sets of cars that we have. But that pack in the back is going really, really intensely 3 wide here. But as you can see, Breeze working on the 54, and the rest of the field back there. As you can see, Eric Monaco's back there, I believe, with a few other guys. But it'll be interesting as we got almost 4 wide again.
Clear. But back to the lead here, we got Isle taking the lead over LJ Toledo. What a great outside line move. Let's take a little spotter view here of Alexander Isle as we go into the spotter headset here and on board. All right, this is Alexander Isle spotter. We got a clear by 98 by 3. All right, no run help, no help from the 98 from back. He's going to take it a little bit lower. 98's looking. He's going to stay in line, tucked in. He's got some help from the 45. Is that a caution? We're still green, I think. No, we're still green. 98 still falling back a little bit. He's going to go to the top run right here. He's going to get a little outside run. He's going to use that slingshot right now. Still clear. All right. The Bulvic's looking high on the 98. All right, you're all clear, buddy. 10-4, we good. All right, so the number 9 of Alexander Isle, that Dodge leads, as that was a caution, yes. So we'll have to take a replay. That's a big one.
Does not look good.
Yeah, I think that was a caution. It might be, that's not Isaac, we know that. It might be Stover again, who's been a heap of trouble.
Paints looks like he got involved somewhere.
Paints. Oh, this is
this is a backpack back here.
Another week, another wreck for Jeff Bolton, it looks like. Ironically, around the same time as the freshman. Let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah, Stover's on the way inside line. Almost kind of looks like
5 wide
had a
almost.
5. Yeah, he just lost all momentum right here as we continue to back it up here. Yeah, there's Jordan in there. Fox. All right, so here we go. Here's Brad Stover. Yeah, it looks like he's almost kind of riding the apron there on that white line. He's going to lose all his momentum. Now, Reem, looks like Jeff Bolton just keeps coming down very awkwardly and turns right into him. That's bizarre.
I think you can make a case that either driver went up or either driver went down. I don't know. Whoa!
Jeff Bolton, similar to Pockrass last week, just flipped over, but he does land back on all 4s. And is that Jacob Shangle again going to avoid another one? He's on the brakes.
No. He touches the back bumper.
Not bad, though. That's pretty good avoidance again. It's 2x for Shangle. What a night he's having. I have to go on board with him again.
Oh, Roach.
Roach! That's not bad. Not good avoidance, though. Zevel coming in there. And I believe Isaac. Let's look at Shangle again. Once again, Jacob Shangle looking to be the slickest driver in Miami. Don't get this guy near a club tonight.
Damage though.
A little damage, but I'll be buffed out. The Microsoft Surface. Let's take it on board here. If Shango's just going to look here, sees the wreck, he's jamming on the brakes, and just a little bit of a love tap into Bolton. That could do a little damage, but nothing crazy considering where it was last week. Excuse me, last wreck. There's Joy Pace. As they go around, that should be pretty much the wreck. Yeah, but see Pace here, a little airtime. Definitely a 4 out of 10 on the old judge scale. There we go, back to live feed action. See the sunset in the distance. So we are definitely starting to get down to it. Clinton Buchanan will be the first guy on pit road, and I believe the only guy on pit road, as our accidents retirees, I believe, are Bolton. Oh, I missed it. That's all right. I think Bolton did retire, though. So Isle now takes the lead. Movement did not get his lap back. He did not stay on the lead lap. So that should mean we don't have to worry about him winning tonight, but you never know unless we get that. Now, here's the thing. No one's pitting. If this does cycle out, if it does somehow cycle out, Movement could be in prime position to take the win if it cycles out, but he will be on the oldest tires where everyone else should be on the fresh tires. We'll have to find out. Reem, this is probably going to be the 20-lap dash here to finish it out. We've had a pretty interesting race so far, a lot of wrecks, but usually it'd be like 6 to 10 laps into a green flag run before we start to get the wrecks. What are you saying now as a crew chief? Let's take this from a crew chief perspective to your driver, knowing that we might have some fuel mileage as Clinton Buchanan loses the hood there in play, and tires are starting to wear. This is going to be one of the older restarts on tires. What do you got to do to get through the gears? And do you start playing games in the front row like that last restart with Toledo?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how they go about it. I know, like you said, the tires are pretty old, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers and the crew chiefs go about racing here in the final about 20 laps. But yeah, it'll be interesting, like I said. Isle in a Dodge, Toledo in a Ford, 3 Chevys, and then a Dodge. I believe another Chevy or 2. But it'll be interesting. Day to night transformations here at our homestead, so it'll be interesting to see who has the night setup, and maybe if that'll help them help that said driver get to victory lane. Don't know if we'll need the new tires. I'm sure we will, but I don't know what the strategy will be to get those new tires to see who affects winning this race. But they're almost ready to go back to the restart. Freeze, we're gonna send it back over to you, bud.
Yes, sir. 3 and 4 are going to do the double file style, as I like to call it. Thank you to the fans out here for joining this race. A lot of electricity in this Miami area. Miami-Dade County 305, as they like to say, down in these parts of the Sunshine State. It's LJ Toledo and Alexander Isle in a little Budweiser versus Monster duel. Well, who will have the Monster tonight and claim it? Even though we're not in Dover, we'll have to find out. We talked about just this mid-pack and how the outside lane can move. This could be the restart where the outside lane starts to propel. As the pace car makes that left turn into the pit lane, will this be the final restart of the night? Will we see some pit strategy? Will Toledo get that outside lurch? We're about to find out. Back to the Geico restart rezone we go. And we are green flag racing, and there it is. LJ Toledo, like a rocket ship, takes the lead.
Yeah, that outside line again prevailed. That helps them out in the corners because you know how the middle and the top lanes go. As you can see, slowly starting to fan out. It's got a side-by-side battle for the lead between the 9 and the 98. And then the 74 and the 3 are back here as well, and the 45.
Strauss. Yep, Strauss is going to take the outside lane. Now, Macaron backed up a little bit to get a little draft. Now, Isle has to think about this right here. Do I back off and get in line, or is we going to see the pace car for a second? At the back of the field there. Let's see what Isle did here. I think he got back in line. We'll find out. But Strauss on the outside, I think, is starting to propel. We saw Strauss early in the race, has a nice lead. Started to get her footing underneath her, but the problem was got caught. We talked about the leader curse in a way. It's just not safe out front. Now, a big run coming in at 3 and 4. Can LJ Toledo block that run? Isle's going to look low. A little side draft. Strauss is going to stay a little bit towards the middle. on the outside of the grip strip, as I like to call it, as we go on board with Jessica Strauss in at 3 and 4. Bream, take us through an onboard lap here at Homestead, Miami, son.
Yeah, so they're gonna cross the stripe here at lap number 38, I believe, as we take a ride on the number 3 Paramount Dodge. We're just slowly following the back end of that 98, trying to get the right line and stuff, so we're keeping the draft pitch catch, but that 98 is slowly pulling away, but like you said earlier, Freeze, the drag issues, I think they're going to come back into play here, because I think they're catching them slowly, but to come out of turn 3 and 4 is a lightning fast lap here at Homestead, about, I believe, 33 seconds. Back to you, bud.
Yeah, David Hamilton on our fastest lap. As you see Strauss close up on the brakes. That's going to be important. At the end of this, draft could be the most important thing. As you start to see some new players coming to the front, that's the 86 of Ian Stiles. Actually, Ian Stiles, funny fact here, if Ian Stiles somehow pulls off the win tonight, that would be 2 for 2 for the Honda and Toyota Japanese manufacturers against all these Chevys and Fords and Dodges at the front. That would be interesting for sure. Is there almost 4 wide back there? I believe that might have been Freeze, and is that Pockrass, I think, up top? They were definitely pushing the issue as Ian Stiles looks for second here and possibly going for the lead. As you see Vince Freeze and Ream now back there with Pockrass up there in the middle of the pack as it's still a hornet's nest. Isle's starting to fall back. I think he started to use those tires a little bit on the restart. Let's see if he can make his way back up front, though. Back to the front. How about LJ Toledo? He's still up there, man, and we talked about the leader issues all night. He's starting to get his footing up front, blocking the lanes, blocking the air. This is a little bit of super speedway racing you see at Armory Digital being translated over to Homestead, Miami, as he has about a 3/10 lead.
Yeah, and that's really helping here in the 86s. That's pulling like a double blockade because the other cars behind him, behind the 86, are just all 3-4 wide, and it's helping the 98 somehow pull away from the field.
Yeah, big push coming though from looks like that's Macaron, I believe, coming over to Styles. As you see, that is the Macaron, a little block, a little air block there, but he couldn't convert it. That, I believe, is the 24, I believe. Yeah, Dark Rain looking for third.
There they go.
We got a wreck.
A caution.
Oh, we got a big wreck back there.
Burge is involved, I saw.
Burge around. We got to make sure Isaac doesn't fly in here. I think he'll be all right. That was just 4 wide gone run. No, it was similar to the first wreck with Stover and Jessica Strauss, one of our main perennial contenders now. Let's see what happened. You're going to see Jessica Strauss right here go a little bit lower under Burge, looking for a little side draft. Gets it to the right rear quarter panel through left rear contact. Right into Pockrass again. What a tough break for him. As a little bit of airtime on Strauss. And now they're going to start Constantine down the track. As you see, what is saved, though, by Strauss into the rumble strips. Now, Andrews is checking up on the brakes. Santa Messi, what an avoidance. Eric Monaco, what an avoidance. We'll have to check Eric Monaco on replay. As Strauss is still saving it. What a great job by the field. A little bit of a contact there with Andrews. The 27 gets involved, as well as, I believe it's Reese? I believe, yeah, Reese, one of our perennial contenders as well. But we'll have to check Aaron Monaco for that, another avoidance of the race here. That was amazing by Eric, especially considering we might have saw him wrecking Happy Hour. We don't know for sure, but he was one of those guys involved as we go on board with Eric Monaco.
So he's already got
sees the wreck here.
He already got damage from an earlier wreck, as you can tell with the hood. But he does a good job of saving it. You can see the 57 and the 07. Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Hot knife through butter, baby. Hot knife through oil, I guess, in that case of Eric Monaco with the Pennzoil scheme of the Chevy. But what a crazy night. We've had 4. This is the 4th caution. A lot of wrecks that have been unusual as the bulb gets a little contact there. Still guys on the grass. I think Strauss saves it, and that is Freeze again to the grass. No, that's going to be Hamilton. We saw the second part of the wreck. Strauss and Hamilton are involved. As Strauss goes around.
And Ribbon, the 46, Saber Fox.
Oh, more contact
32.
there.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's a big one there. 32. It's Neville.
Shangle. Oh, my goodness.
Shangle X3. How about that? This man is on absolute 9 lives with the cat tonight. Jacob Shangle. That once again has one-upped his previous two wreck avoidance. Jacob Shangle, everybody. Let's go on board with this Microsoft Surface 64. Yeah, he's just going to see the wreck here. The first part's happening as Strass is going to get into Hamilton. And this guy right here is going to say, you know what? Let's cloud that middle. It just absolutely sees part. Jacob Shangle, he may not win this race, but he's sure to heck to get an award for avoiding these wrecks tonight. Great wreck avoidance by Jacob Shangle. As we have some pitters, or is that just going to be a car down pit road for... Is that Wolf? Damage? Yeah. We saw movement and Wolf have contact in pit road. We're wondering if that caught up to him. Boy, oh boy, buddy, what a race. We're down to 10 to go. Everyone in this race, I would say in the top 20, still have a chance to win. And this is one of the best races so far I've seen in terms of wreck avoidance and strategy with the lines. As it looks like we're starting to pile up the accidents too. Reem, how do you go through the list of who retired tonight, buddy?
Yeah, so we got in 31st, we got the 46 of Byron Webb. Actually, wait a minute, that's the 28th. We go David Hamilton, the 44, the 2017 Opalis Jr. and the Energizer Ford. The 57 of John Andrews in the Southwest Airlines Chevrolet. 31st, we go to the 46 of Byron Webb, the Dollar General Chevrolet. 56 of, I believe that is Dripsy, with the piston issue. Camshaft issue to the 08. 32 of Noah Knight, I believe, in the Menards Honda. 47 of Zevel. The 71 actually got involved in an accident. I don't know where, but it says he got in an accident. The 34, 38, two Fords. And then the 89 of Brad Stover, the 29 of Noah Patton, the 18 of Reggie Fogelman, and the 88 of Sean Ard. Those are your retirees. As we got 10 laps to go, I believe it'll be 9 coming to the stripe. I could be wrong.
You are correct, sir.
Okay. But yeah, they're going to cross the stripe. I believe the lights are going to go out on the pace car here shortly. Interesting to see what the 98 and the 86 do on this restart and see if that outside gets another push or if the inside just doesn't go. It'd be interesting to see, but it's been an amazing race so far. I was kind of surprised to see that all these wrecks happening in turn 1 rather than turn number 4, even on the front straightaway, but maybe stuff's changed here at Homestead. Maybe they got a new groove down or something that's causing this, but who knows? I mean, we've got we got 9 to go. As you can see, the pace cars, it's lights off. Freeze, we're going to send it to you for the top 10 rundown real quick before we get back to the restart.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that a little bit. Just to say the numbers. 98 would be Toledo to start off with. Then you have Styles, Rain, Macaron, and the 26, whoever that is. I believe that is Salamander. We'll just go top 5 as we're about to go 3 and 4 here. They double up. This is it. We would have done top 10, but we know we got to. This is it. This could be the last restart of the night. You got to think here. If we get to 5 or 4 to go, we may not have another restart. So the aggression level will be turned up to 1,000 here, as I like to say. Here we go. LJ Toledo on the inside has been the dominant car in this second half, but he had that outside line on the restarts. Now it's Ian Styles looking to protect the Japanese territory and make Japan a 2-time winner with Toyota and Honda and that Honda Baby Ruth 86. Pace cars off, takes a left-hand turn. LJ Toledo leads us back to the green, into the Geico restart zone. It's an even start, though, as Toledo has learned.
As it go into turn number 1, it's going to be even. It looks like the 98's going to get a jump, but the 86 on the outside middle line is going to fight back a little bit with help from the 74. The 24 is going to back off.
Oh, I think we have someone getting turned back there almost. That might have been Freeze and someone else again. Definitely been a wild night for both of those guys. Macaron, does he ditch the 86 and go high? Yes, sir, he will. He has a huge run. Macaron looking for the lead. 3 wide, Toledo underneath of Styles.
They're going to be 3 wide for the race lead. Coming to the stripe is going to be the 74 Macaron. The 10 is also up there with the 9 and the 37.
Look at Frank Chilton, though. We talked about Frank Chilton in that first race, how he's been sneaky quiet. And it looks like it's the first race all over again. I see Messi back there as well looking to make his way to the front, and Isle. We're starting to get some of those main players from the first race to the second race. Reem, go back to you for 3 and 4 coverage.
Yeah, they're going to come into 3 and 4 here as they are about to complete to lap number 49. You can see they're going to jumble up a little bit as Chilton looks to the outside, no room for that. They're going to give a huge push down to the 74 down this front straightaway as they head off into turn number 1. As you can see, the 24 and the 9, 55, and the 40 all in that top lane, middle lane, top lane. As what's going to happen here? Is it going to be a little bit of a block for Chilton and the 74? Or what's going to happen behind them? It'll be interesting to see. Over to you, Freeze.
Up to the 5 laps to go here in the 3 and 4. Isle's going to make a big lunge in the 3 and 4. Messi's going to come with him, and that's Reem nearly riding the wall right there. Now, what do you do if you're Macaron? You haven't been in this position much. We have one of the fastest drivers so far these first 2 races, both out west and east, and Frank Chilton. He's been the Dragon Slayer, per se, in terms of being the fastest guy on pace. But he has to wait for Isle in that Dodge as he goes up top. Now will Isle have a run into 3 and 4 coming to the back stretch? Huge run could be coming here and go upstairs, as I like to say.
Yeah, they go down the back straightaway on lap number 50 out of 54, just about 5 laps to go. 9's going to ditch the 74 with help from the 24 and the 40. As the 45 is also back there, they're 3 wide. As what's going to happen here is Chilton is going to have to go with the bottom here. Macron's going to have to make a decision of where to block too. Be interesting to see what's going to happen.
What a save back there. That was somebody. That would have definitely ended the race, but I think they saved it. I'm not sure who that was, a green car, and that was Garth Salamander. What a save, because that would have been a race ender. We'll have to get a replay of that later. Back to the front, though. It's heating up. Macaron leads. Isles in second. I think that's about to change as he's going to go on the inside. Here comes Rain, 3 wide, baby. On the outside, rides that like a Larson line. Now, can he get a run off the top as they go into 2 wide mode? Isle's going to have to block both lanes. He can. Side draft coming from the 9, but he won't be able to hold it. Here comes Rain as there's 4 wide nearly back there. It's Toledo looking to force the issue for about 7th place.
Yeah, you can see Chilton's going to give a run on the 24, though. I think the 24 is going to block that outside line, but the 9 still got the lead. It's go time for these drivers here with only, I believe, 3 to go, I think, as they head into turn 3 and 4. The 9 and the 24, 10 to 45, 40 and the 74. That's your top, I believe. That's your top 6 fighting for this victory.
2 to go. 2 to go. It's going to be Rain. We talked about the leader at the last lap. Is it going to be Rain? Can he actually pull it off as they still go 4 wide with Messi back there? Now, here comes Rain. He's got the block. Dobovic, the guy who blew up, as that someone way on the inside line. That is, I think it's, couldn't tell back there. It's all good, though. As you can see now, Rain has to block as Dobovic's going to get a huge run this outside. Will Dobovic make the move into 3 and 4? He will, but he's not going to get enough momentum. He's going to have a little help, though, coming from Isle. Isle's going to go lower. Here comes Reem way outside looking for 5th. White flag. Can Rain make it rain on the last lap? We'll find out.
It's going to have to see. He's got a little bit of a gap here. I believe that the 5 is not a lap down. I thought the 5 was a lap down, but he has fresh tires, and he's on that inside lane. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens if he's going to steal one. The 24, he's on the outside, and I don't know what's going to happen. The 5 might get it.
Yeah, I'm going to take it here, buddy. Eli the Wolf with fresh tires came out of nowhere. He's going to go full send into 3 and 4. Here comes Dobovic. Here comes Rain. Get the cameras out. Eli the Wolf. Are you kidding me? How about you hunt some wolf tonight? Eli the Wolf on the last lap. Top to bottom. Photo
45
finish.
got it. He did.
Wow, Dobovic on the outside holds off Eli the Wolf. Oh my goodness, what a finish. He had the freshest tires. He came out of nowhere. What a great pit call. But Dobovic by, I believe, 0.001, a thousandth of a second. Oh, we got to see that again.
Damn.
Oh my. That's a screenshot. That's a freeze frame. No pun intended right there, folks. What a great job by Wolf on the inside. But Dobovic had the outside lane. We talked about this all night. That outside lane would prevail. How about this for Nixon Dobovic? From blowing up the first race, couldn't even make it a turn 1. As we go to the last lap, let's take an onboard here. You see Dobovic is going to see Eli the Wolf way down. Did you see he has more grip and handling? He's going to stay on there. Let's go on board. Stays in the draft, tucks in. He sees Rain's going to go a little lower. That gives him enough clean air on the right side of the car. And he's got a little bit of a room upstairs, as I like to say, on the outside. Backs off, backs up the entry. Boom. Accelerates in mid-corner. Backs up the entry again, which is interesting because he saw Wolf on the inside with a little side draft. Uses a little bit of that side draft off 24 and just going to accelerate to the line here. barely by, would it be 1,000th of a second, basically, over the Wolf. I thought the Wolf was going to cry right there and break Bovig's heart, but what a great job by Nick Sinabovic with a W here at Homestead, Miami. But Eli,